Okay, so in this video, what we're gonna address is on a flat roof job, pretty much a quick skim and walkthrough, and then how we're gonna actually get into or segue from inspection to TPO, okay? What they have to understand is when it comes to flat roofing, you could get a roof for any price you want, right? Technically speaking, because there's many different ways to do it. But based on what you told me, where you want to do this once and once only, there's only one option, okay? So what we're going to do is explain to them why there's only one option. Make sense? All right, so let's go through a quick overview. So you're going to get to the house, introduce yourself to the customer. We're going to do our inspection inside, outside, just get an idea of what's going on. Get pictures of everything, get pictures of the interior damage as well, because if we can help them out and recommend it to a good adjuster, you know, maybe they could be getting a good amount back from that. Is that phone ringing? No, okay. So by the time you get done taking your pictures, you're doing your inspections, at that point, we have identified the problem, right? So now we want to know what's the solution, right? So there's going to be 4 different ways you could go about replacing your roof. Now this, I would just take a sheet and turn it sideways just like this. Go option 1, okay? And that's going to be what's called a coating. Very cheap, going to run you $250 to $350 a square, okay? So let's just say this job was 10 square for an example, because you're already going to know the measurements. Anywhere from $2,500 to through $3,500, okay? So obviously, I mean, the price sounds pretty good there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Now, what that is they're going to take the existing surface area you have, and they're just going to mop down a sealant over top of it. So imagine almost like a commercial grade industrial strength paint, right? You ever see a leak in the ceiling where the paint actually holds the water for a little bit? It turns into a big bubble, and then it finally pops and the water comes through, right? So imagine that's what they're doing to the surface of your roof, okay? What do you know about sealants and adhesives when you're trying to bond them to a surface? Anything?
Should be clean.
Should be a clean surface, right? Because if that surface isn't clean, nothing's going to permanently stick to it, right? It'll start to peel, stick, or delaminate. The problem is you're going to have that roof up there with dirt, debris, and all this stuff caked in, right, into the material, and then they're just going to be coating right over top of that old, dirty material. Okay, how long do you think that's going to last?
Not long.
No,
Not long.
not long at all. Okay, and then the other thing is, if you think about it, you're painting over a cracked surface. The surface is already cracking. What do you know about things that start cracking? You ever get a crack on your windshield?
Keep cracking.
Does it get smaller or does it get bigger?
It gets bigger.
So what happens when I coat it over the crack and then the crack opens up more?
Got a new crack.
Boom. What's going to come back in?
Water.
Right? And that's why from the manufacturer of these materials, there is 0 warranty available that you can get in writing today on any sealant.
Gotcha.
Because there is no guarantee it's actually going to be sealed, okay? So when it comes to addressing your issue with the leaking roof, would you consider this option at all, or this is not for you?
No.
Okay. So I'm just going to put an X on it, right? Because they just said, I don't want to spend $2,500 to $3,500 and do it twice. Option number 2, that's going to be to put a layer on top, okay? So when you put a layer on top, it's going to run you anywhere from about $500 to $600 a square, or 5 to 6K on this roof. So it's going to run you a little bit more. Here's what they actually do. Let me show you. So you're going to go on your phone and you're going to go to those pictures that we have, especially the house that Dre was at the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at this. This is a brand new roof installed 6 months ago. The finance company paid the guy because the roof was installed. Now that he's already been paid for the job, they keep calling him. He won't take their calls. He won't answer. He won't come back because he's already got his money. So now they're stuck paying on a roof that we had to re-replace again now, less than a year later. And they're still paying the bank back for the money they spent on that roof. Could you imagine? But if you take a look at the roof, what he did was, if you go and really zoom in, you can actually see the glue seeping out from the overlap seams. So what they do is on that old dirty surface, they just mop down a ton of sealant, because this is quick, easy, and fast, and then they're gonna lay the rolls back on top. And they just hope if they put enough sealant, it's not gonna move, it's not gonna leak, right? Well, here they are, stuck again. And then look how they handled the siding. They just put a bunch of glue up the wall to the siding, ruining the siding on the house. Does that look nice to you?
No.
If you spent $5,000 on that and that's how it came out looking, would you feel happy?
No, I would not.
Right? And could you imagine even worse if you were stuck paying a loan on it? And you got to do it all over again? The company's dodging you?
No.
It's crazy, right? But unfortunately, with flat roofing, it's the easiest way to do it. The second easiest way to do it, because you don't have to do any. You don't even need a dumpster. You're just rolling stuff on top. Right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Can you understand why they're able to do these jobs for these cheaper prices?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so for your situation where you have water coming in and you already repaired it, 3 years ago and it's leaking again, is this something you would entertain or you're not interested in?
No, I want it to be fixed.
Okay.
Fixed for good.
So let me go over the two different types of systems where you're actually doing a full system to manufacturer spec, and then you tell me which one makes more sense for you. Sound fair?
Yeah.
All right, great. So with that being said, option one is going to be rubber or what they would call torch down or EPDM, okay? Any rubberized product is going to be torched down to the surface of the roof. So on rubber torch down products, they're going to run a little bit more. They're closer to about 700 to, let's say, 900 a square initially. So like 7 to 9K, give or take, depending on the size of the roof. With that, the way it works is they're actually going to prep the surface the right way, and then they're going to torch the rubber down to the roofing system. Okay. Now, what do you know about rubber and what happens to rubber over time?
Dries.
It dries. Okay, so look at your automobile. Right, look at your wheels. You ever see a tire that starts to dry rot or crack out as it gets older?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the same material used in roofing. So do you think it would be any different over time?
Probably not.
Does the probably have to be there?
Depends on the wear and tear on it, right?
Well, here's what the manufacturer does, because they know this is going to happen already, okay? These are going to last you anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 years, okay, depending on the material you use. But on all products, no matter whether you go with the 8-year one or the 12-year one, you have to reseal every 2 years, okay? Because when you reseal the rubber, what happens is it seals the moisture in, so they don't dry and crack, right? So it's protecting you from the flaw of the material, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like a two-part system that you have to do. Now, that runs you anywhere from about $800 to $1,200, and you're going to have to do that every 2 years, okay? So over the next 10 years, if we go the cheap route, that's 5 coatings. If prices don't go up $1 over the next 10 years, you're spending a minimum of $4,000 more just to maintain the roof.
Right.
Make sense? So at that point, add the $4,000 on top. Even on the low end, you're still at $11,000 for something that you got to keep resealing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then at that year 10, you got to buy a whole new roof again and start resealing again, so on and so forth. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So by the 25 year, let's just say 25 years from now, let's just do some math on it, real simple. Let's just say the new roof 10 years from now didn't go up $1, which I know, I see the smile on your face. We all know it will, right? And then let's say maintenance doesn't go up. The prices stay the same for the next 20 years.
Lucky me.
Never will happen. At minimum, you're investing $22,000 over the next 20 years. Over the next 25, another $5,500. You're talking about investing over $27K in the next 25 years to maintain your roof.
Yeah.
Okay? If you do it correctly and do it right, and you follow the instructions, and you maintain it and they do a good job sealing it, it will last you, right? But it is a long-term commitment where you're going to end up spending close to 30 grand on it in the next 25 years, right?
Right.
Now, there's one other option, that you have, which is called a thermoplastic or a TPO. TPO is what hospitals use, warehouses, all the big companies where they don't want to mess around, okay? They don't want to run the risk of constantly having to reseal, fix, or touch because they're busy running a business, right?
Right.
So they want to do something that's once and done and permanent. So TPO, completely different product, comes with a standard 25-year warranty. Okay? You ready for this one? There's zero maintenance required on it.
Sounds good.
So imagine over the next 25 years on this system, that's 13, almost 13 cleanings at an average of $800 minimum. I would save you $10,000 in resealing. Say cleanings, but meant resealing. So I would save you $10,000 just in maintenance on your roof. How amazing is that?
That's amazing.
Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
Next part of it is it comes in a white, which actually keeps the decking temperature cooler, so on that second floor it doesn't get as hot,
Perfect.
right? Pretty amazing, huh? And then in addition to that, we're going to throw a 5-year workmanship on there, so that way you know at least all the seams and everything that we did. You'll have plenty of snow, rain, water, wind, everything to
Right.
test the roof. Within 5 years, you're going to know if it was installed correctly or not, right?
Sounds expensive.
Well, guess what? What's more expensive, doing it once or doing it twice?
Doing it twice, depending
Doing
on
it
how
twice,
much the
right?
TPO is.
But let me ask you a question. If all things being equal, right, and it was the same price as everything else, what product would you want to have?
The one I don't have to maintain.
Bingo, right? Fantastic. So would this warranty coverage actually meet or exceed your expectations?
It's better than the one I have now.
Great. And then doing the rubber or torch down route, is that something you're comfortable with, having to keep reinvesting every 2 years, or are you trying to avoid that?
Not if I don't have to.
Oh, okay. All right. So really, this wouldn't be an option for
Andre
you
Villanueva.
either. So TPO is the way you'd want to go. Great.